I would like to review my Dungeon Master prep for the Out of the Abyss 5th edition adventure. So if you're going to be dungeon mastering Out of the Abyss, then this is possibly the video for you. If you are not a D&D person, then this probably will make no sense to you. So Out of the Abyss is about 250 pages, and as you can see here, it's a lot of content. And it's quite entertaining to read as a dungeon master. At first, I definitely recommend reading the book from the beginning to end, first of all, because if you just read the first chapter or two, you are likely to paint yourself into a corner. There are things that it doesn't tell you about until near the end of the book that you need to know during the beginning of the book. So unfortunately, that's kind of a thing. But after you've read the book and you're at the table, for me personally, I don't want to be referring to the book. I don't want to be flipping around through pages, reading through long paragraphs of text. So I use a shorthand bullet point format, and I basically convert the information in the book into this format. This makes it easier for me to scan at a quick glance and remember what it was that was supposed to happen. So the goal is that if we're sitting around the table playing, what I don't want is I don't want 6 people staring at me while I say, hang on a second, let me read. And then I sit there and I stare at the book for 5 or 10 minutes trying to find the information or absorb the information again because I forgot it. I find that with this format, I can glance through, see what's in the room, and just remember. Like if there's a side table in the room, usually WotC will have a full sentence saying there's a side table here. Well, you don't need all those words. You just need the main thing. So I just basically eliminate all the and, the, of type words, and I just put down what I'll need for me to remember. If you're not familiar with OneNote, it's a note-taking app by Microsoft, and it has what they call an infinite canvas. So, like if I make a new page here, I can type something here, or I can type something here, and I can drag it around anywhere. I can type something down here and just scroll it around, and it grows infinitely. Or I could take it over here. There's no like margins. You don't have to worry about layout or whether something's going to fit on the page. Your page, like the horizon or the sky, grows forever. So I really like the flexibility there. So yeah, as you can see, I pasted in art and stuff too. I find that online. If you're going to be running it, I definitely recommend using the Facebook group. There's a Out of the Abyss DM's Facebook group. It's really nice to be able to just go through here and see stories of other dungeon masters that are also running the adventure the same as you, and it's interesting to see like say you're about to run Slew Blue Dop with the Demogorgon. You may be wondering like how in the world am I going to handle this? Well, how did other dungeon masters handle it? Well, there's about 4,000 of them here. This group has been around at least since 2017 when I prepped it. So it's really interesting to see how other adventuring groups approach the adventure and how the dungeon master resolved it. And of course, you see stuff like people will make their own playlists and stuff. People put their own new maps in here. There's all sorts of interesting resources that you can find from here. There's a Discord channel as well, and this is true for all the major WotC books. Any hardback Wizard of the Coast adventure you get there's going to be a Facebook group just for DMs, and there's going to be a Discord channel. These are amazing resources that you want to take advantage of. So for like Discord here, boom, you can go in here and say, how do I approach blah blah blah. People answer you in real time, or you can just be a lurker and scroll through and see how they're going to handle stuff and get other dungeon masters' ideas on things. that's just something that that of the, for dungeon masters that just make up their own stuff. I highly respect their ability to do that, and I definitely would do that if I could. If I could just write down some stuff on a napkin and run off off of my own imagination, um, I I really admire the creativity it takes to do that. But if you're going to run something out of the book, um, this is an advantage to that. That there are other people that have ran it, and you can kind of be part of the community. I mean, look, there's an art channel. You can go in here and see art that people have drawn just for this adventure and use it. Your players will think you're a genius. You don't have to tell them where you got it. They'll just think you just know all this stuff. Anyway, aside from that, for my OneNote, let's see. So we've got Velkenvelv here. You can see I use the hot links a lot. So like, if I want to know what the drow stats are, I just click on that. And I guess I didn't preload this, but so it may take it a second to load it in. But it's going to jump to another notebook that has all the D&D stats in it. While it's thinking, I got this from this guy. This guy published a OneNote that has all the 5e SRD in it, which includes a lot of the stats. And so I'm just hot linking all of his stuff into my notebook. So I'll include these links down below. You can see he's got basically the whole player's manual, the part that's free anyway, in OneNote. So the advantage is that you can hot link into your notes. It finally came back up. So yeah, there's the drow. It's got the whole monster manual in here. Or if I want to know what drow poison is, boom, right there. I don't have to flip to the book. I don't have to wonder. I can just access it right there. So yeah, I'm really happy that guy did that. And of course, this took a lot of work for me to. So I don't know that I would recommend exactly what I did to everyone, because I basically took the entire book and condensed it into bullet pointed notes. There's not a single piece of information that I thought was useful in that book that is not in these notes somewhere. So maybe it's a little OCD, maybe it's a little crazy, but I just wanted it in this format, so I put it in this format. See, if I want to know what a gray ooze is, boom. It's already right there. And you can see that the other advantage of doing this is that I can put it in the layout that I want exactly. So like sometimes, especially in other adventures like Curse of Strahd, which I did this with too, they'll put information about a certain thing, like a certain NPC, in multiple places in the book. And I find myself wondering, why is this here? Why is it not over there? So with the NPCs, I've just condensed everything about the enemy is here on this page. Everything that the prisoners know is here, and then I've got all the NPCs here. And the other advantage is that I can add my own stuff in here as I'm going throughout the day thinking about stuff, or if I see something from somewhere else, some other resource, like this here, this text here, I stole from a podcast. There's the Vicious Mockery podcast, which I'll also link. They ran through Out of the Abyss, and I was really impressed with how the Dungeon Master handled it, so I just stole some of his stuff and I inserted it in here. And it's the other thing that DM did was a way that a common complaint with Out of the Abyss is that there are 10 NPCs, and the complaint is that it is near impossible for a beginning dungeon master to roleplay 10 NPCs on their first adventure, which is true. The way that the guy in the Vicious Mockery podcast handled it is, whenever he started the players off in the cell, he just said, and there's a bunch of other prisoners here as well. And then he just let the players start role playing. And then as soon as there was like a dip in the role playing, as soon as there was like a moment of quiet, he would just bring one of these NPCs forward, and start describing. He may say like, here's Bopito, and he's dressed in rags, and he's got blue skin, and he looks all crazy, and he says blah blah blah. So the players already know that there's adventurers, that there are prisoners back there, but he doesn't go to the trouble of explaining them. Whereas I, like when I first started, I meticulously described every single one of these NPCs because it's in the book. The book says what they look like, so I describe them. But you don't have to do that. You can just sort of hand wave some of it until it's necessary. So anyway, I really like that. That's the advantage of this, is you can just insert stuff in there, and as far as the players know, it was part of the adventure. Whereas if you were just running out of the book, first of all, it'd be way slower for you to reread stuff, or you would have to read the. I would have to read the book 3 or 4 times to memorize it, and this way, I don't have to do that. So let's see what else. I like to put little art in there. This is my chapter 2 for travel. I was very confused by the format of this. So you can see that I did a lot of stuff around trying to get used to the rules, like all the travel times, how long it takes for people to get places. So I have it condensed here where each NPC wants to go, and then all the bizarre rules around travel and stuff, and here's the stuff on where they would go. I put a lot of work into this, so yeah, I was really into this. All the fungus information, all the madness rules, and you can see that I can click here and it goes to this other guy's OneNote, so I don't have to pull out the Dungeon Master's Guide stuff on madness. Or say about, like, for curing madness, say the players want to cast Lesser Restoration to cure it, well, there's the spell right there. I find that I want to cough, but I don't want to. There, I hope it wasn't too loud. I don't really know where the mute is on this software. You can see that, yeah, I even made tables and everything. And they're all hot linked. This was a lot of work, dude. I wish that I was one of those DMs who could just make stuff up. Just go on nothing. But this process helped me memorize the material too. So here, say that I pre-rolled all the adventures, as you can see here. You know, for each day in the Underdark day, I rolled and then added into this little table all the stuff, and then I can just click where I want them to go. And I added stuff too. There's a lot of stuff down here, adventures that aren't in the book. But as far as the players are concerned, they are in the book because they were in the game. Let's see, I have pulled it up here. There's a couple of resources that are great. This adventure here, Journey Through the Center of the Underdark by Tony Petrecca, has basically a bunch of set-piece encounters for when your players are going to the Underdark. And I just added them in here, and it worked really well. Let me see, there's another one he did. Part 2, the Darklake Strikes Back. This has all the adventures when they're around the Underdark. These are great. So yeah, I took all these, and this is, he's got it as a standard adventure, just like you would, a PDF with text and stuff. But I don't want to read all this stuff in the middle of the game. There's no way that I can memorize this enough to just run it without having to read. So I converted it into bullet points, and it went perfectly fine. You can see I went crazy with the art and stuff. And I think that's... yeah. I like adding the little art and stuff. Alright. Trying to think of what else. We did Facebook, the OneNote, Discord, the adventures. Oh yeah, Gracklstugh. As anybody in the Facebook group will tell you, Gracklstugh is a nightmare. When you start reading it, you can tell that it makes no sense. There's inconsistencies, but there's a lot of good content in there. So my process of converting it into bullet points, as you can see, this for me was really advantageous, because if I find something to add to atmosphere, I can just insert it right in there. One resource that I definitely recommend for that is this one, Gracklstugh Revised Turmoil in the City of Blades by John French Williamson. This basically, it's kind of like a rewrite for that chapter. And the way that he did it is designed so that your players are coming from Blingden Stone first. So it works best if it's done that way, but I think I didn't. I think my players went to Gracklstugh first and it went just fine. But reading this will help make sense of it all. Anyway, this is how I do all my adventures. So I don't think that there's much else. Obviously, it's been 3 or 4 years since I've run this, so I don't think I'm exactly gonna go through each part of the adventure because I probably would have forgotten a lot of it. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this format. So uh, good luck on your adventures, and I hope it goes well for you.